I don't know how to.
Right here.
I don't know how. Yeah, if you're hot mic, and turn off your hot mic.
Snap. Is my audio any better now?
Sounds like we're listening to you through a CB radio.
God, this is gonna frustrate me to no end.
What are you doing?
I just posted the emojis and then immediately took them down. Like, I posted them, and then in the format they're in, when I copy them, they just turn into those like the bracket, dragon face bracket.
All right. All right. So this is the first time I've streamed onto Facebook.
Getting mine set up too. I'm almost there. What day did we say? The third? What day was it?
12th, September 12th.
What ticker are we doing?
We're doing all tickers. We'll do a scan. We'll run it like as if it's a live day.
Have you guys taken to explaining why you're getting in, where you're getting in, yada 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 yada?
Not yet, but we will. I'll try and see if we can do that before we.
Because this is like good practice for newer people like me. What time are we going to start it at? It's 6 in the morning.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
All right, let's see.
Stream is up.
All right, I'm just trying to.
Stream links are in the live trading pit. Shouldn't be there.
Ultra latency. Best for real-time interaction. Does not support DVR, closed captions, or 4K. That's fine. And where do I?
Oh, you got a bot now that tells you when you're streaming, huh?
Looks like it.
Be careful, honey. I hate this thing because I literally have to do it through events, Garen. Like I have to schedule in a live event and then go live.
Yeah, you just have to hit the go live button. Once you get your new computer set up, we'll get you a system.
Almost there. Go live now. Okay. Screen share. I want to share an application window. Main Thinkorswim.
Yeah, got the
broadcast.
All right, so we're Discord offline. 2 people watching on Periscope. Facebook's not connecting.
Everyone.
Why is Facebook not?
All right, I'm sending you a message right now where the stream is at, Garen. Actually, I'll just put it in the pit. All right, it's up. It's in the pit.
There.
In the bits.
Facebook's connected. Okay. Okay. I can reply to people on Scope.
I find this kind of funny. The aftermarket trading is going to end in 10 minutes. So we're doing aftermarket
trading.
Post-market trading.
If you're watching from Periscope, I'm trying to download the app so that I can talk to you guys, because I'm sure you're wondering what the hell you're watching.
By the way, Skylar, yeah, if you wanted us to be able to post anything on your YouTube, we're still not able to.
Well, for now, y'all can just write it on Garen's, and if somebody, just relay it, or obviously we're talking in here, so. Alex, you don't have voice at live trading? Hang on.
There's voice on live.
Alex, you muted yourself. Click on the speaker down on the bottom left by your name.
I'm recording it if you guys need the video file later on.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a lot of static. And Alex, you got to push the little speaker next to your name on the bottom left corner of Discord.
Okay.
Also, in case you didn't know, it's a push to talk. So you might have to go into your settings and change to push to talk.
I've got to clean my desk off.
Just on the date, as an FYI, remember the 12th was the day after the 11th, and things were all pretty quiet that week.
Do we switch it that day, or do we want to trade a hard day?
I mean, there's good. Yeah, neither either. I'm just saying that if we keep finding that it's tough to find anything with any movement, then it might be worth switching up, depending.
Well, I mean, I guess we can start here.
Yeah.
And if for whatever reason if it's not right, then we'll just change to something else.
Sounds like a plan.
Turn Discord off and turn it back on then, Alex.
Did you try percussive maintenance?
Hey, Skylar, that blur is out of control, man.
Meaning my screen's blurry?
Yeah, it gets blurry like every 10 to 15 seconds.
It's the latency and compression. It's just the laptop can't handle it.
Oh, okay.
What kind of laptop do you run on?
Well, I turned it, I did low latency. Should I end the stream and do it higher quality? Was it better last night?
It's seeable. It's just like every 10 to 20 seconds it blurs out. Last night it was okay. I could follow you at least. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Garen, I guess I should just kill it and start over.
Okay, you're not on right now, so go ahead.
All right.
Yes, this is live Coin Fox. We are doing a community backtesting, so if you want to practice day trading, you can sync your backtesting software with the stream and follow along with calls and picks and get some screen time practicing with without the actual stock market being open.
Guys, I have a question for you really quick.
We've got answers.
So say you actually bought stock from a company in and of itself, and they shipped you the SEC or the Class A stock title to you, and you have the 125 shares on your person per se. How do you get access to selling those?
You can literally hand it to somebody and they give you cash for it.
But what if I wanted to not do that?
Then you put it in a vault. There's actually a story of a guy who found like 100 shares or something, or 1,000 Coke or something from like 1920 or something, and he made like a couple $1 million off of it. It was certified and a real print of it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it had like the stock had like, I don't know, been acquired, split, done all kinds of crazy stuff. It made him the largest single private shareholder of Coke.
No shit.
Yeah, and he bought it for some ridiculously cheap price at a yard sale or garage sale or something like that.
No shit.
Oh,
Yep.
Something real fast.
It's up, Garen.
First.
Oh god. So then, with that being said, is there any way for me to? So essentially, it's useless unless can I sell it to a bank or like? I
Walk
just
up to your neighbor Paul and you say, $50.
Okay.
Just make sure it's worth like $3 in reality.
Mm.
Oh no, we've got Xanadu. Which one is that one from?
So how do we participate in voice because of the delay and the voice from Discord and then the audio coming from the video stream?
Well, if you want absolute real time, just mute the stream, listen to the chat and stuff, but that way you can talk to people here and you don't have to wait for the delay. The stream is for people that aren't in Discord.
Or go crazy and just listen to everything.
All right, there we go. I got it. I wasn't sure if I should mute Discord or the stream.
Mute the stream.
Cool. So I'm going to be using Thinkorswim's on-demand think back. So are we doing
link in the description, Coin Fox?
Today? Oh no, we
September 12th.
Set it for market open?
Yep. Typically.
Garen, what is the chat that Xanadu's on?
That's Periscope. Looks like Periscope is read no reply. Okay.
Xanadu.
You know that song too, right?
Yeah, I know that song, sadly. Olivia Newton-John. Not really very drum and bassy, although you can make a drum and bass version.
Just chopping up in Ableton.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a hardware guy. Do you still have a set of techniques?
Hey, Skylar.
I converted. I
Yo.
got,
What did I say? You hear this?
the hell are they now? DDJ
The 1000s, 2000s.
2000s.
Oh yeah, those are nice. I still have my techs. I can't not play vinyl.
I just like the fact I use it with. I actually ditched Serato, so I use DJ Pro, which is from Algorithm, the German company, because you can link it directly to Spotify.
Oh yeah.
You are live, Skylar.
We'll have to talk about that later.
All right. First off, I guess y'all want to do. I mean, somebody had said Fang. What do y'all want to do? Apple, Nvidia, Netflix?
Take 5 minutes looking at charts, figure out what you guys want.
I guess let me know when I should go ahead and hit play on my thing so I can kind of sync up.
Yeah, we'll call it out.
All right, cool.
If anybody wants to help out, you could retweet my post on Twitter. I'm trying to actually build my Twitter up, and I'll probably trying to think of how I can do Instagram live, but I don't know how the hell you can do that. I don't know how that would work with day trading.
I try to do anything I can to support, but I literally do not have a Twitter.
I never Twitter.
You never tweet?
Whatever. That's how much I don't Twitter.
How about you just use your Instagram and take a selfie and put it on?
What do you mean you don't twit?
Twitter's great for using like $ hashtags to find information about companies that are moving.
I've been listening to
Sentiment.
Gary V crush it, and he's talking about how useful Twitter is for conversations. I was like, I gotta at least try it for a little bit.
Yeah, apparently there's a joke in the investor community that everybody should just buy Twitter and turn it into a stock platform.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool.
We have stock twits, which is just noise and horribleness. Twitter keeps it a little bit classy, at least.
All right. Well, I guess let's see. I guess we can do. I want to do AMD first, just because AMD's been hot.
Not everybody at once. Calm down.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Well, I guess we'll do AMD first.
It's probably obvious that AMD was on a bullish run that day, though, in our September 12th.
Well, that's fine, but where are you going to enter?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I can spot bull runs and still fuck them up.
All right.
Let's do it.
Entries and exits still matter. So regardless on whether we know it's going up or not, or down or not, we still have to know when to get in and when to get out. All right. So we'll do AMD first. I gotta make sure I'm on the right screen. Let's see, it's showing Apple and NVIDIA. So let me do this.
So how do you guys how are you guys syncing up your YouTube with this?
With difficulty.
So I guess I can change my screen real quick so that way you can see my clock. Hang on.
Definitely need a clock.
All
No,
right, so that should be my
not.
main
He's not
camera
trading. He's
window
not doing
now,
it on OBS. Fox. He is just doing
Yeah,
a
you can-
Google
Did
Hangout.
you hear me? How you can link them? If there's a little link thing next to the ticker,
Yeah, I
you
know.
can put them
I'll
in
just-
groups so it can like link
Yep.
them up to what's on your main screen.
Give me 1 second to get the VWAP and stuff on here.
How many screens is everybody working off of?
1.
True.
3. I need to get a 6 array.
I have 4.
All
Why are
right.
you showing us up?
So right now my clock says 9:30:27. I'm Eastern Standard Time. It's September the 12th. I don't know if y'all want to use your own Thinkorswims and go ahead and synchronize or not.
What was that again?
We're using September the 12th, 9:30, and I've got 27 seconds on mine, Eastern Standard Time.
9:30:27.
Yep, 9:30:27.
Somebody want to explain how to do that in Thinkorswim?
Are you doing that in real time or fast forward?
I'll say we'll probably use the fast forward feature. Keep this moving. But basically, if you're looking at my screen or if you're looking at Garen's screen right now, on the top right-hand corner of your Thinkorswim, you'll see a feature that says On Demand. Right there. So you're going to click that.
Skylar, I don't think we could see that on your. It's cut off just at the top.
Okay, well, click on the feature that says On Demand. And you'll have a little calendar sitting there that looks like a date. So you're going to push the, damn it, mine was going. You're going to push the date, change it to September 12th, and then go to 9:30 a.m. And I backed up 1 minute. So we're going to be at 9:29 and 40 seconds. And I can go ahead and play it if you want me to be exact on the second. So I'll stop mine exactly on the second for you guys.
So right at 9:30.
Yep, 9:30 exactly.
All right.
All right, mine's paused, ready to go.
Quick question: are we in by the fast forward? Are we doing the 3 times?
Yeah, we'll do it at 3 times speed just to kind of keep the whole process moving. So whenever you guys are ready, just let me know and we'll go ahead and get started.
Ready?
All right, so ready. We're doing AMD first. And I'm going to go ahead and push the fast forward 3 times speed play button right now. All right, so I actually should have drawn y'all some trend lines first, but whatever. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to pause it. Sorry, guys. All right, so what we're looking for right now is for an opening range breakout. All right, so really don't want to take this long until we get at least to yesterday's close. And this still is dependent upon the open, but at a minimum, yesterday's close, or up around the 30, 34, 30, 35 range. And as far as going short is concerned, I drew a trend line on it also. On this one, we just kind of let it open and breathe. We all know, and this isn't just from today, this is from months ago, that AMD is bullish. So it's not like we're saying, oh, we all know what happened with AMD. So we all know AMD is bullish. So we're really looking towards the bullish side of it in the first place. We're really not looking for a short on AMD. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and push the play button, or the fast forward play button. All right, so stock's opening. We got to give it a minute to go ahead and breathe. And on the right side of my screen, we've got a 5-minute chart. And on the left side is our 1-minute chart.
Your screen's only one chart.
Really?
I'm only seeing.
What screen are you seeing, Garen?
AMD 1 minute the past 2 days.
All right, hang on.
Really zoomed out.
Hold on, I can fix it. How's that?
No screen.
Yeah, it'll give it a sec. You should see AMD on both sides, a 1 minute and a 5-minute.
Hi, Casey.
Yeah, you're good now.
All right.
Yep, much better.
So on my time axis, I like to have a little bit of room to the right. I don't know if you guys do that or not, but I like to use 10 frames to the right, so I've got some room to work over here. All right, so push and play. So basically what we're doing is we're looking for a range breakout or a place that we can find significant support to go ahead and take this stock long. So normally what we'll do is we'll let it go ahead and open up and breathe. This top line right here, where my mouse is at right now, $30.34, would be a point where, you know, we're going to be looking for a breakout. And what that would be the top of pre-market highs. So until we actually break pre-market or we get a good pullback and we can find support, we're going to wait. And the reason why is the open's extremely volatile and we need to obviously confirm trend. So right now we're just waiting, setting up nice. It looks like it's going to go long. And it didn't. Big red candle here. Looks like we caught support from yesterday's close down at that 29.83. Still no breakout. What we're trying to avoid is trading within this $30.12 and $29.83. We really need price outside of this. Now, as you see, it did come up and it did go over that $30.12, but we're looking for a candle, either a whole lot of momentum or a candle to actually close above or below one of those two lines. So until we actually get a candle that closes above or below, we're basically just watching. We're looking, we're waiting for position. And obviously the reason being is because, just showing it on the 5 minute because it's a little bit I mean, where are you going to enter and actually make any money here? You're going to go long and you're going to get stopped out, or you're just going to bebop around in here. We don't want to trade in here. Well, we're starting to get a range break. Candle didn't close outside of our parameters, so we're still waiting. It's very whippy. All these bottoming tails and topping tails, I mean, they've got their range, but the nuts and bolts of it are that these candles are all closing in here. Right now we're getting higher lows. I mean, lower lows. Again, still trading in that range, just being patient. Sometimes it kills you and you want to just jump in, but you go jumping in and that's where you lose money. Just be patient. Let the trade come out and show us what it wants to do. We're starting to break here. So AMD may go short today. And yeah, so technically kind of just missed that one as far as a short is concerned, because the candle opened up, came up, touched, and came. So we're late. At this point in time, we just got to wait. It'll give us something. Just, you got to be patient. All right, so at this point in time, we're at all-time highs, so charting does us no good. We're simply using price action at this point in time. We're at all-time highs, or previous all-time highs, so we really don't have any charts to go off of at this point. But that being said, it's a good thing we didn't go short here, because look, we're right back up in range. So at this point in time, we do have a bit of a downward trend right here. But if we wanted to get involved with this short, we really should have been up here at this $30 mark or 30.16. And anybody who's thinking short AMD on a day that it's at all-time highs, congratulations if you got it. But I'm not that daring. So at this point in time, I'm kind of just going to wait and just let it do its thing. Let's see what happens. We've got our VWAP there. Prices come up. So far, we're rejecting the VWAP every time we come up. Our VWAP's the purple line right here. And we are closed below.
When is it safe to say that there's a support?
Well, the problem is it's at all-time highs. So as far as safe to say, let's see. Let's go to a 5-day, 1 minute, drawing tools, pointer.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask too.
All right, so previous day, 29.39.
Hi, Timothy. You were officially the first person on Facebook
785.
to be watching this. Or maybe my chat screwed up. Let me restart chat.
406.
Oh, 2 people watching on Facebook. Chat was screwed up. I have no idea how to use Facebook.
Support on it's going to be right around the 29, right around the 29.97 mark. And then we're already beyond that. We're okay. Hang on, guys. This one's tough. All right, so basically what I'm looking at right here is, yes, we have a downtrend. It looks like what we've done is we just put a reversal candle in.
Figure out how I can verify my page.
And then this here, let's see how this acts. Looks like we're reversing right now. Okay, we've reversed at this point in time. So let's go long right now. Active trader. And then I can explain what I saw in just a second. So now we're long. And as it's running, I'll go ahead and explain what I saw. So yes, we had a downtrend, but when we get down here, we get this down candle, we get this green candle, and then we get this big wick. And then we've got a compression candle, what I like to call a compression candle, and then another big candle. So to me, at that point in time, that looks like a reversal pattern. And same with the 5 minute. Look at your 5 minute. You got a big down candle, a green candle with a wick, or an indecision candle, and then you've got, a strong candle, strong candle. So right now, to me, that's a reversal pattern. Let's just see how we do. She's slow. I'd really like to get up here to the VWAPs where we can break out.
I feel like this is where most people would want to jump in.
and you could. So if you look across the top right here, where my mouse is at. So basically, we're kind of stuck. You know, price has kind of just got a line right here.
But you're not going to jump in until it passes the SMA or the VWAP.
Oh no, we're in. Yeah, we are in right now. So basically, when I went in off of, we've got our downward trend right here, and that's a break of trend right here. So if you drew a line, if I can get my drawing tool. All right, so I went more off of a reversal pattern. I can just see this without using an actual trend line. But if you use this as your trend line, stock's trading, coming up, touching it. We're not really breaking it. We're coming down, coming down, coming down. And then we get this. This is the key right here, this area right here. I know it might not look like much to most, but big down candle. You've got a long wick right here, hitting your support, coming up. And then you've got your compression candle and then a big upward candle. So basically what we're looking at is a reversal pattern. So here's VWAP. We just came through the VWAP. Still look good. And if you wanted to draw a trend line again, and all right, so we do have a little bit of a break of trend right there, but we still don't have a candle that's closed below trend. We've got the VWAP right here. And with the VWAP right here, we can expect resistance, okay? We're in at a good spot. We're in way down here. I know it's the average isn't right because I only pushed 50 shares, but technically we went long, not here. We went long right here. So between these two candles, we went long. And this is a very tough day.
I find AMD to always be rough.
Yeah, this is a really tough day. Now we're still good. I'm not panicking yet. We're still on an upward trend. Just gonna have to see what happens, guys. I mean, I'm not, I know we're doing a back test and all that, but I'm not always right. I have losing trades too.
I don't trade 1 minute, Timothy. AMD for me is more of a swing trade.
This right here, this key area, this is a reversal pattern. And yes, with AMD, we're giving it a little bit of room, but it's obviously reversed. This is it's going to be a V shape here in a second. So it's a V shape reversal. Came down. This section right here is the key. And I'll find, Garen and I were talking the other day, I'll find a couple other patterns that show similar reversals patterns, but basically on almost every single reversal, what you're going to get is a big down candle, a candle of indecision, or a candle that looks similar to this, a medium-sized or a compression candle, and then a big explosion. And that big explosion, we want to see it come equal to or greater than this line where this is run across right here. So as far as us being safe in the trade right now, I don't like that.
Fuck, I can't.
We're kind of just chopping around right now, guys. It's I mean, we're still good as far as entry is concerned, but
AMD loves to chop.
Yeah, this is just it's a lot of noise. And I'm even, that's why this looks messed up. I want a 5-minute chart. See if this cleans it up some. All right. We're going to get stopped out. Is that what's going to happen now? I'm going to add to this real quick.
What's the daily look like on AMD?
It's compression. It's at all-time highs. That's half the problem with this one right now. Here, I'll show you a daily on the left. That's one of our issues right now. Yeah, we're about to get stopped out.
Catching it on the low end of the flag, it looks like.
We still look good. Hold up.
I just have to let the triangle run out.
Yeah, it's
I do not trade Forex.
well, we've got support down, like I was telling you before, we've got support down here at this 29.51 mark. So at this point in time, let's just trust it and see what happens. Y'all saw where I got that support from, right? So if you go to yesterday, go to the previous day, and go down to the lows, we need to make sure we hold that. If we break that, it's game over. Just close the trade. As of right now, we're good. We've actually got a triple bottom right here. And when I took it long, this is that indecision candle. It's a little clearer on the 5-minute. That's that indecision candle, green candle, big explosion. Now, granted, we did get another red candle here, but ultimately, we're starting to build higher lows.
I'm a technical trader. Bitcoin is I trade it like anything else.
That's why when all y'all are like, I'm going in AMD, I kind of just stay away. But let's just see how we did. Slow moving. Right now we're in a green trade. We're up $40. It's just taking some time. Let's just see how it plays out. Sorry, I know this wasn't the greatest of commentary on this one.
You guys have any questions so far?
Oh, you're doing fine.
Yeah, right now they're looking at like, what's going to happen?
No, you're doing good. Yeah, 10-minute candle looks pretty good too.
Yeah, and we just hit the VWAP, so
AMD is a more slow trade. It's usually, if I trade it, I aim for the entire day trade.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
well, we're still looking good. It's just not
I've got a
moving very
question for
quick.
you.
Yeah, man.
So the 200 SMA, that pretty much has become the new support line at this point, right?
Well, at this point in time, it's kind of still resistance.
Right. I think he might be. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I think he. Do you mean the yellow line? And if that's the yellow line, that's the Ichi cloud, correct?
No, this doesn't have an Icky cloud on it. So the yellow line is the lower band of the VWAP. And I've got a 50 EMA, a 200 EMA. This purple line right here is the VWAP. So right now what we're doing is we're coming up, we're testing the VWAP and we're rejecting. So we're really trading in between 29.82 and 29.55. We're kind of stuck in range.
What color
And at
is
this point,
your SMA, your 200?
they're the 200 and the 50 are both blue, just because I threw them on real quick.
Okay.
And what's about to happen to us? Still holding.
This is scaring me. I don't think I'm gonna even touch AMD now.
Yeah, it's not being friendly right now, put it like that. And this is why AMD can be tough to trade. It really can. I mean, sometimes it just goes straight up and everything's all peachy and hunky. Now, I will say this, since this just so happens to be a day that we're at all-time highs, if we can get above all-time highs, then we're just going to ride this thing long all day. So it's looking better, though. We're nice green candle here, testing the VWAP at this point in time. Right now, our key resistance is the VWAP and that line that I drew earlier, that 29.83, which that line correlates to
He has a mental stop loss, Timothy.
pretty much the lows of pre-market trading. That's basically where we're at right now. So we need to get above the lows of pre-market trading, which we just did. So we're looking good. We've got the VWAP and the 50 imp. Whoa, that looked nice. Now I took it for that bottom reversal. A safer bet would have been letting it come on back up. And once this much of the day is played on, you're still looking for your range breakouts, but you've got enough data to where you can go long over the VWAP. So at this point in time, we're looking real pretty. So we're going to go ahead and hang tight, see if we can't crack through today's range. Looking good. Come on, AMD.
So you were holding this whole time?
Yes, sir. All right, here's our breaker range. Yeah, I didn't really have a choice but to hold because we're just bopping around between up 50, down 20, up 40, down 50. You know what I mean? So it's just really didn't have much of a choice. I don't want to close the trade up $50. I mean, I could.
This is live rain.
We have a lot of potential. We're still early in the day. And I certainly don't want to close it with a loser if we're not breaking low a day.
It'll be recorded if you want to watch it. Zen wants to know if you take profit here, keep holding.
In this particular case, since I waited so long down below, I'm going to go ahead and wait. I'm going to see if we can't break through this open range right here. If we can't, then I'll go ahead and take some off the table. But right now, we're looking pretty.
And this would probably be an example where the 200 SMA is now the support, right?
That is correct. I mean, it really hasn't given me a reason to get out at this point in time. I mean, if you look at the 5-minute chart, we don't even have a red candle. They're all green.
Yeah, granted, does mess up sometimes. I'll be back.
It's pushing. Looks good. You know, and that's the other thing with AMD. The reality of it is, although this chart looks like this is huge, like this is this gigantic move, it's really, in the grand scheme of things, as far as moves we're looking for, it's really not that big. I mean, it's not even $1 yet. 29.60 to 30.30. 30.60 is $1. All right, so now we're starting to catch some resistance. Let's see how she acts. All right. So now we're above pre-market highs.
This is the NASDAQ.
Lose momentum.
Yeah.
At this point in time, I feel like it's probably good to go ahead and let's take some off. Go ahead and take some profits. So we'll take, say, 200 shares. So we're going to do 300. And what we want to see is support hold here at this 30 mark, this 30.35. That dress is beautiful, Bailey. Beautiful, honey. I bought it from his girlfriend. Nice. Cool. It was originally like $150. Still holding. Yeah,
3,000, not 300.
Oh shit, you're right. What happened to my P&L here? I sold it all but 50 somehow. I thought I had 500. Oh well. Careful, Connor.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. All right, well, we're still holding, so let's see what happens here. At this point in time, I'm not going to say that we're extended, but we are extended. So I would expect at this point in time, honestly, to see some type of consolidation.
We're all knobs at one point, Randy. I was a knob, still am a knob.
Could be wrong.
I'm not profitable.
I'm going to back out to a 1-day, 1-year chart. I'm going to check where high day or where all-time highs is at. So we're extremely, extremely close. 30.59 is all-time highs.
There's resistance.
So I went ahead and plotted a line at 30.59 for all-time highs. And we are starting to pull back now. So what I would expect to see probably is a little bit of consolidation in here. I do not want to break where our pre-market highs are at, or I'm sorry, our open and range highs are at that $30.21. I want to see support try and catch us down here.
So at this point, would you just offload some shares or what?
I already sold them. I sold them near the top when we started to hit resistance. So, I mean, I initially only wanted to sell 300. I thought I had 500. So I should still I mean, I would have liked to have had 200 going, not 50 right now. But we're still holding 50 shares. So let's just let's kind of see how this consolidation goes. Now, what I'm looking for is a range break on this consolidation. If once we get a range break on this consolidation, we're going to pile into this again. And for the sake of time, I mean, do you guys want me to go ahead and just hit the fast forward button for a few seconds, or you want to just let it play?
Just let it play.
All right, so we fell below that support line. We're still now, now the way it works is previous support becomes resistance, previous resistance becomes support. Now that we've fallen under it, now that's resistance to us. So since support didn't hold, now we've got resistance there. So again, I would expect to see some consolidation, which this is normal. It's okay. As long as we're not going back below this opening range right here of $30.21. You look at the low of this candle. I'll do it on this one. On the 5-minute chart, the one on the right. So where my mouse is at, or where the cursor is at right now, it's at the very bottom of that red candle. So that's good. That's telling me right now that we're still at least holding our opening range. So we're holding support there. So basically what we're doing is we're consolidating, and we're trying to build momentum for our next run.
Have many people been doing positions? Is anyone else on this right now, or is most people just watching?
All right, we're still not breaking that range, so we're going to go ahead and stay put. So we're really truthfully at this point in time, you've got one of two options. So option number one is add to the trade at 30.50 when we break out, or I guess it would technically be 30.52. We either add to the trade at 30.52 for the breakout, or you can add at the bottom of support. So let's say this thing comes down and touches, comes back down again and goes up, and then comes back down again and goes up. If it's holding support, then you can add in at your support, which is technically the better of the entries, just because you're going to get a little bit more movement. It's a little bit more risky, but as far as profit dollars are concerned, obviously the earlier you get in, the better. So we're going to see, depending on price action, do we jump in at the bottom where support is at, where I drew the line, or do we take it for a range breakout where I drew the other line? I'm gonna get rid of some of these, that way they're not so messy. AMD just chops a lot. It's just going to be a second before we can really make a decision. So we're still holding support.
Skyler will trade it either way.
There, remember, it's pre-market highs. So right now we're holding pre-market highs.
No, we really are trading back in time, September 12th. So if you have a backtesting software, you can follow along,
starting to make higher
or
lows,
you can
lower
just
highs,
watch this video
which is kind of
again
an
sometime if
indication
you
that we
want.
may be
And,
coming back down.
practice anytime.
And again, if it comes back down, that's okay.
There is my
just wanna
mic right
see it
there.
Hold that support. That's our.
I can't
key
move the
area
camera
here.
so that you
We
guys
need
can
to
see
hold
it.
support.
It's unfortunately.
To look at Amazon later.
Sure.
Maybe I could do some wizardry with like a mirror or something. That'd be interesting.
All right, we're starting to flag.
A big ass mirror behind me, so you can see my screens, but also see me. Not in this room, but maybe in the future. My roommate said no in the background if you didn't hear it.
We need to hold support from opening range right now. Still holding.
That doesn't usually go over well with roommates.
And see, this is why we don't, and this is just, again, my way of trading, guys. I mean, you could certainly have sized into this and held through it and just held the whole day. I prefer to take my profits up here, let it go ahead and pull back, and just get back in the game up here or down here at the support. I don't like being involved in this. It plays with my emotions. It makes me think, am I right? Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I wrong? So I personally don't like to be in this. Now, if I would have hold from down here and I was stuck in this, I guess it's one thing, but again, I prefer not to, I just prefer not to be in it. And if you look at your 5 minute right now, we're building lower highs. So technically we are kind of on a downtrend, but we're also holding support strong. So again, what we're looking for is one of two things. Either A, we're looking for this breakout, or we're looking to buy down here at this 30.22 mark. One of the two. Come on, give us the breakout. As far as taking this short is concerned, being at all-time highs or near all-time highs, until we get up and double top or run an extreme amount, I'm honestly not even interested in shorting this even a little bit. So even if it pulls back down and goes to $29.20 from here, it's going to do it without us, and I'll look to go long at $29.20. You just got to be careful. Anytime you've got things at all-time highs, you got to think you've got absolutely no resistance above. When you're at all-time lows and all-time highs, there's no previous chart history. So we might get in a breakout here. There's no previous chart history for support and resistance. So it's like, where can it go to? Wherever it wants.
So you're taking 50 shares long and you already offloaded the rest, correct?
Yeah, so I initially thought I had 500. So technically I would have been holding 200 shares still if I really had the 500 and I sold 3. Apparently I had 350. So yes, I'm just kind of hanging on to the 50.
And are you following like a percentage like rule that you follow? Like I'm going to offload once it reaches the resistance, or what? Like how do you know how many to get rid of?
So I normally just do it based upon price action. And in this particular case, if I was playing, if I was actually playing this stock, I probably would take 1,000 shares whenever I entered. So where we entered at, I would have took 1,000 shares and I would have offloaded up here somewhere in this area, over here on whatever chart you're looking at. I would have offloaded in that area probably somewhere between 500 and 700 of them. Just simply because I don't know, when this thing comes and pulls back like this on this, if you're looking, well, even here on the 5 minute, when you get this big pullback, I'm getting out at this point in time. Now, I might not get out all, but again, I'm going to lighten my load pretty significantly. And I'll just look to add back in the trade, either A, when we break out, or B, when we come down and catch support. If it looks like it's holding support well, I'll go ahead and add at the bottom. Like when Garen was trading today, if you guys saw, like when he was looking to enter AMD, he was really trying to pick the pullbacks because, if it does happen to continue to go down, you don't want to buy it at the top. You want to buy it near the support. So we're either looking to buy the breakout where we've got momentum or buy the support. You don't want to buy in the middle, though, put it like that. You either want to buy at one end or the other. If you're buying it at the breakout point and it starts to fail and you're in heavy, you're going to either A, significantly reduce, or B, get out of the way. Your breakouts, anytime you have opening, breakouts, they should go with authority. I mean, in other words, it's not just going to go 1 penny, 2 penny, 3 penny. You want to see it, you want to see that momentum carry through and other traders jumping in on the trade. And you want to see it really get up and go, kind of like we saw, when we hit the bottom down here and we finally decided to go up a little bit. You really want to take it long in that, at that point when we've actually got that momentum and it's running. So here again, we came down, we tested that support mark, that 30.35. Looks like we're still holding.
Once you see this support start to be established, would you add more shares?
I really don't. So this line in the middle, the answer to that is no, because our support is really down here at this 30.21. Because if you look at these candles, yeah, it's one of the trade that's been violated, 3 different times. You can see the violation a little bit better on the 1 minute because it's a little bit noisier. On your 5 minute, you come down and you touch support at that 30.21 mark. I consider that to be support. This is support also, I agree, but that's within, the middle of our range. That's not technically at one extreme or the other. So in other words, no, I'm not buying there. I would prefer to either buy the breakout or buy the bottom channel of the support. So in this particular case, it looks like AMD's strong. If we can get down for, if it will get down to this 30.21 and we test this 30.21 again, I'll go ahead and add down here. Now, if it's obviously got downward momentum, I'm not going to add. I want to kind of see it either get down here and touch and come back up. And even if I get it 5 or 6 or 8 cents above the support, that's okay. I just want to confirm that it's not going to break it. Is my main is my main thing, because obviously I don't want to buy it right there just to have it go down. Looks like we're starting to build a little bit of a flag here. And see, this is where I technically do prefer the 1 minute chart, and it is best to keep a 1 minute and a 5 minute up. Because if you look at your 5 minute chart, it's not nearly as noisy. It looks pretty clean. On your 1 minute chart, you've just got a lot of chop there. But I can see a flag starting to build long before I can see a flag over here. That being said, a flag on a 5 minute chart is going to be a hell of a lot stronger than a flag on a 1 minute chart. All right, so we're cracking support. Let's see if we can hold this 30.22. If we can get down and touch this 30.22 and hold, we'll go ahead and add our stop loss. Let's see, we'll do 20, let's do 10, 15 cents. So if we do add at that point in time, our stop loss will be $30.10, and we might not get a chance. We'll keep a 10-cent stop. All right, so it looks strong here. This isn't the most exciting one, guys. Sorry. All right, let's think about adding down here. Come on, what you gonna do, AMD? And it took off without us, apparently. So we might not be able to add down here, which is okay. It's a hell of a lot more risky adding down here than it is adding for a breakout. But something's going to happen. It's going to get out of this range. Something is going to happen, I assure you. All right, that's strong. All right, let's get ready to add. Getting ready looks like we might be breaking out. Catching support. That's a 50 EMA right there. So another way that you could have played, let me finish. I'll explain something else here in just a second, but we're going to watch this thing for a breakout because it's going to happen quick, especially at 3 times speed. Rejected, trying. She's trying. Maybe next time. Catching support off that 50 EMA. Yeah, she wants to pop. There we go. Can you push? Can you push? Can you push a little more? And at this point in time, I'm also watching the level twos, and I just saw 7,000, which would be 70,000 shares wanting to be purchased at 30.50 or 30.48. It was quick. I didn't really see. 46,000 at 30.50. So I know we're strong. So I'm watching. At this point in time, I'm also going to have the time and sales up, and I'm going to watch. What I want to see is the 30.51s, 30.52s print. I'm long. So we just added to the trade, and now we keep our fingers crossed and hope it goes our way. See what happens. Struggling a little bit there. See, it's stuck between that support and resistance point. That's all-time highs we're going for now. So there you go. We're at all-time highs. So the other way you could have taken it was for the break all-time highs. I just didn't want to wait there because sometimes when it hits it, it just goes through so fast, you just get a crap entry. So here we go. At this point in time, we got no chart history. We're relying on momentum. I'm looking at the level twos. We've got 20,000. See on the ask there and on the bid, we've got 20,000 shares being bought. You know, we just got a lot of buying pressure right now. And it's all going out on the ask. Chewing through it. 20,000, 4,000, 7,000. I mean, it's just, we're chewing through it. And if I had level twos up right now, I wish it would work, but if I had level twos up right now, I'd be watching for successively higher numbers to be printing. So if you look at our level twos right now, you got 68, basically, like I said, these 680,000 because they're by tens or hundreds. But I'll just use the number it says, you know, 2,900, 1,400, and you see it just getting chewed up, 1,700, 1,900, 3080. Those are all people willing to buy at that price. So we're strong right now.
Question for you: Where do I enable that bar so that I can see that?
Enable your level two. So small pullback.
ATVI is a breakout on that day. Second day after the beta release.
Here we go.
Hi, Greenacre. This is currently a back testing of the NASDAQ Stock Exchange. 9/12. We're currently practicing.
Did we lose you, Skylar?
You hear me?
Yeah, it was just really quiet there for a second.
So bid and ask is locked right now. It's just kind of bouncing around between the two. It's pretty much locked. A little more buyers than sellers. More sellers than buyers. People are just eating up those asks, though. They're buying on the ask. I'm sorry, buying on the bid. Starting to pull back. Still holding. We haven't broke that that red candle right here, plus that upper band of the VWAP. So we're still holding. Doesn't look good, but we're still holding. So at this point in time, if we start to break, then I will come out of some. But again, when you're at all-time highs, you really have to be patient. Anytime you have a stock, I just promise you guys this. Anytime you have a stock at all-time highs,
Watching the stream a lot, John.
You really have to be patient. They will shock you how hard they can run, I promise. We're going to go ahead and hold. It's all right.
Two.
Probably should have got out of some here. See how this acts. We can come up and start pushing towards the top. I'm going to go ahead and come out of probably about 400 shares. Not as big a run as I expected, to be honest.
Hi, Cricket. We are currently doing a back testing.
Now you have the decision of
the NASDAQ Stock Exchange on September 12th.
And
doing some practice runs.
You don't crack support at 30.58, or do you take profits up here? You know, and again,
pre-market, and then he'll be popping off and on.
We can get into some stocks
during the
about
day.
500 shares on, and you make $1,000.
So with it being an all-time high, you'd probably just want to wait, right?
Yeah, but you got to hold up. We're going to go ahead and unload some of this right now. If we don't break, yeah, we're double topping right now.
Time's up in the top right. It's 12:39:35 right now.
We're coming out of 400 just because we're double topping right now. You see that right there? So we're still holding some if it does run, but at this point in time, we've pretty much come up and triple top for the most part. You see across there on the 5-minute chart? And unfortunately, it's going to continue to run. But that's all right. We still got 100 shares in. Actually, we've got 50, and I forgot we had.
Around 8:45
she's
a.m.
gonna
pre-market,
run.
Alex.
So it faked us out, you know? It is what it is. I just didn't want to let it get in a situation where we went back down again and came back down and lost all the ground we gained. And AMD is a tough trade, too. Let's just see how she acts. We can always re-enter. We'll find a place. All right, let's see if she's going to push or if she's going to stall. If she's going to stall here, and you guys think that, you know, you have to make this decision yourself as a trader. I can't make it for you, but, you know, if you feel like it's going to continue to run.
Yeah, AMD's rough.
Flagging like this.
Really good swing trade. Not a good day trade.
Catch it on a pullback or on a micro pullback. Well, it looks like we got out way too early, gentlemen. All right, let's get back in on this pullback. So we just basically got back in on the pullback. And in a normal, you know, if it's in an all-time high situation, it's one thing to do that. It's another if you're just in any old stock, you just don't want to buy highs. And I really should have waited for a better pullback. Might have screwed the pooch here. They can become tough when you get to all-time highs. The best thing to do is just kind of hold on, just be patient.
I found with Spartan strategy, the best time to buy pullbacks is if draw a trend line, and when it either gets as close as it can to the trend line, whether it just goes sideways for a bit on the flag or if it pulls back hard, get by that trend line.
Yeah, looks like we're in a little too early. It's all right. We're still good. A little, not the most opportune place to buy back in, but it's not killing us as of yet. Still looks strong.
It's standard VWAP.
A whole hell of a lot of work for $600.
It's not been adjusted.
Just better stocks you can buy. All right. So a little bit better method, as in like what Garen was saying. I mean, that's obviously a little better. I kind of let a little bit of FOMO get in me when I bought in so quick there. So really, you want to either do what Garen was saying, or you wait till you get a good size pullback like what we just saw right there, and then go back in for the break of the highs. Is really truthfully the way you did it, or the way you should do it. I jumped the gun a little bit. I could have got myself in a lot of trouble doing it that way, but really, what you want to see is that pullback, and then you want to go back in for the break, or you want to buy the pullback, one of the two.
I'd either do break of the downtrend or wait for it to pull back on the overall trend.
I agree. That was kind of a FOMO entry right there. Little amateur.
I mean, I'll talk to anybody on
So
stream.
at this point in time, I kind of feel like the thing's just going to grind. That was one hell of a run, huh? That was one hell of a run.
Yeah, you don't usually see AMD do that much.
Again, that's what happens when you get to all-time highs, though. I mean, that is a hell of a run right there. You know, now's where you start to get scared of how hard's it going to come down. Or when. So this is where, and price targets from analysts don't really matter, but this is where you start to think, all right, well, AMD's got a new price target of $35 or $31, and you kind of look at where you're at versus what's going on, and you kind of try and make a decision, because right now I feel like we should be taking money off the table. But that being said, I mean, we're up $100 on 450 shares. AMD just does not move that much. AMD is more one of those stocks that you swing, or you buy in the morning and you hold the thing all day long. You just got to give it room, get in at a good point, and kind of just hold on to it. Just set a stop and just let it alone. And this is honestly why I don't trade AMD. But that's a hell of a run right there. So do we want to let it keep going or fast forward, or?
I'm down with skipping ahead a little bit.
I just feel like it's just going to grind, man. That's just kind of what AMD does.
He's not an oscillator trader. He's a price action trader, Sam.
Yeah, no, I'm actually remembering this day as it goes on.
This thing's a beast right now, though. I'll tell you that. It's a shame you have to plow in it with a couple thousand, 3,000-4,000 shares to really make any money, though.
Yeah, but if you ask me, it's a good one for like a smaller account, because it is going up steadily. But if it were to go down, chances are it would probably be steadily.
Yeah, it's not going to kill your account.
Right, a bit of a safer play.
It's a slower play, that's for sure. I think it's just nuts, dude. All right, the first sign of a pullback. I think we're going to go ahead and offload a lot of this.
Yeah, this thing's running hard, damn.
Yeah, dude, this is just insane right now. So the first sign of a pullback, we're going to go ahead and take profits.
You looking at level 2s too right now?
I am watching level 2s, and we're starting to get more on the bid than on the ask. I mean, we still got more on the. Well, no, we got a lot more on that at the bid now. We got to pull back here. We got to get ready to pull back. So at 31.80, I saw a huge, huge number. It just kind of dropped off. We're stalling. Way more sellers than buyers. Way more buyers than sellers. So all eyes on the level 2 right this minute. I'm going to go ahead and take a partial.
When you read level 2s, you don't immediately sell off the first big number. You wait for a minute to see if it retests.
Usually takes, so when they flash, it usually takes a second. Look at that pullback there. It'll usually flash, and I'll watch Garen to see if it starts to get chewed through or if it's actually just holding solid. In that particular case, it was holding solid. I mean, there was just a ton of sellers there.
So that when that 75 doesn't bust or move at all.
Correct. Yes. Now, if I see that number and it comes up and it pops up and then it's less and it's less, then I'll stick with it. But when I see, and again, I'm just using the number I see. I obviously know it's times 100, but when I see 40,000 sellers and 200 buyers, that's what kicked it off. I mean, there was just an enormous amount of sellers right there. So once we get back up to that, we can stay and watch. You got your level 2s on? Or are you watching mine?
I'm watching yours, but it's a little delayed.
Well, you should, yeah, from the commentary to that, but you should still see it. Watch when we, if we get back up to the highs. I mean, just right there, did you see it flash? 12,000 sellers, 12,000 on that bid, like 1,000 on the ask. So people are starting to come out of it, but we are buying them up though. Still big sellers, but we're chewing through them. You see 7,000 flash there real quick?
Yeah, I'm trying to sync my data with your.
And then 17,000 just flashed real quick and disappeared. So, I mean, there's somebody out there with just a huge amount of shares that's just kind of popping them in and popping them out, popping them in and popping them out. So back to more sellers than buyers. So it was 2,000, 1,000. So it's starting to tighten up a little bit.
So would that be them taking partials? The big buyer popping in?
It could be. Well, it wouldn't be taking partials to buy. They'd be taking sells.
Yeah.
That, and you got to think, when you're watching that bid, you also have people that are pushing join the bid. So they're buying off the bid too. You don't always have to buy on the ask. You can buy on the bid or the ask. And when that big number pops up, guys will try and get in and buy on the bid just to get in better. Because, right now there's a 2-cent, 3-cent spread. So if you can buy on the bid when you've got a huge number of sellers, if you're looking to get back in, then you want to buy off the bid. So right there, 12,000, see it went 12,000, 10,000. So, I mean, real quick, 2,000 popped out.
Yeah, I just saw a 90,000 pop on mine.
So, I mean, just huge numbers are popping, like 15,000 right there. And I know it's delayed, but 16,000, 17,000.
I'm watching. I'm actually 2 seconds ahead of your chart.
I don't know if I'd be comfortable with that,
right
Earl.
now, at 31.55, you have a big seller. If 31.55 pops again, he'll show. And that could be somebody that's either A, propping this, trying to prop the stock, or B, they're just willing to buy a whole shitload of shares.
No, I've left Awesome Calls, Cricket.
Crazy at all-time highs.
I am currently in Spartan Tradings.
Well, they don't know where it's going to go. I mean, what did it trade at today?
I didn't watch AMD today, actually.
What were you buying AMD at today, Garen?
I don't remember. Not profitable, said?
No, I mean, like, was it in the 30s, the 40s, the 20s?
It was in the 30s. It was in the 30s.
Higher than it is right now?
I think so.
Well, it looks like it's going to go back.
Look, you got big buyers right here. So at this point in time, what we're looking for is we're going to buy at the crack of highs. So if we, for some reason, do get up and crack highs, we can buy there. The thing is that it might not run very far, and you're going to want to keep a really damn tight stop. And again, the best thing to do is if you're up here and you plan on staying, then pick a line in the sand and just stay. But as far as buyers,
it was trading in the same price range today.
So as far as buyers and sellers are concerned, we do have a big buyer. He's popping in and out.
Getting major resistance, 35.
There is definitely a big seller there. Look at 18,000 on the ask. When that 18,000 on the ask popped, there was 20,000 on the bid. 20,000 on the ask right now.
Yeah, we cracked it.
So technically, we would go long. I was just paying too much attention to the level twos here.
You would never add down into the 50s on the pullback?
I would, but I don't like being in the chop, Garen. The chop is just, I'm just not a patient dude.
Patience is key.
I'm patient. Okay, so I'm patient to get in a trade. I'm not patient to chop in a trade. And I didn't add there, but, like I said, what we would have done was took it long at the break.
Well, I was watching from the pub, and I'm going to say a great trade.
Thank you, sir. But, at the break right there is where we would have gone. Obviously, we didn't, just because I didn't push the button, but we would have entered at the break, which would have been 31.82. Which, for the sake of doing, I can just buy if y'all want me to just buy. See if we can get it to pull back a little bit and we'll add.
Aren't whole dollar amounts resistance?
Yeah, whole dollars, half dollars are always resistance. So we could, if you missed it, you could always add for the break of the whole dollar. I just went ahead and just added just so the P&L was going. I mean, y'all know, obviously, that the real place where we talked about was break of that, what was it, 31.82. So at that point in time, if you've added, right now you're kind of just sitting here and chopping. So again, really the best thing to do is just, you know, if you're planning on doing this, just hold it and just go for the ride. So getting a small pullback. You know, the other thing you could do, and this is what I was going to tell y'all earlier, is this blue line right here is the 50 EMA. So as you see, this is a 1 minute chart. Yes, you can go to the 5 minute too, but this whole time in the open up until about, well, until we had that good break, 1040, we never went long. Once we broke through the VWAP, we went long. This line right here again is that 50 EMA. So you can say, all right, once we go through the VWAP and the 50, we're good. And we basically hold. We did partial out right here. So you could hold it and partial out at the break of that 50 and then take it long again over the 50. And as long as it never crosses back over this, and I think this is, I'm not trying to steal someone's strategy, but this is Spartan strategy, or at least kind of what Garen was explaining to me the other day. You really just, you stay until it breaks trend. If it doesn't break the 50, you don't get out. Isn't that what you were telling me the other day, how he does some of his?
Yeah, well, he doesn't trade on the 1 minute, but yeah, so for me, the break of VWAP and the break of 50, I would jump into a partial on the break of, actually, I'd probably buy it on the triple bounce at the very bottom. And then break of 50 you could add, the break of VWAP you could add, and then the first pullback, when you start to build that flag, you could either wait for that first downtrend to break, where it's under the 50, and you could add there, or right at the break at the 50. Because even though it breaks the 50 in that flag, it doesn't break the flag range. It's staying inside that flag range. So when you're in like a flag range right there, on that first big run up on the day, you kind of, as soon as the stock gets into a range, you kind of ignore the 50 till it either breaks that range or breaks the 50 again. That makes sense?
Yeah. So in that particular case, truthfully, we wouldn't have even exited, and we still wouldn't have exited right now.
No, it would have been a full hold all the way through. You would still
all the way through.
Still would have held it. You would actually have another smaller EMA, like a 25 or something on the 1 minute, and then you'd play off that as well. So you'd take half on the 25 and then half on the 50 break, or you use a trend line. That's a pretty damn steep.
Yeah, that's abnormal.
It actually changes trend rate. It has that huge run up, and then the trend slows down. So now you're getting a slower ascension, and it's getting kind of choppy on the 5 minute. So the 5 minutes showing that it's kind of losing itself. I would probably take the majority of profits at 32, and then wait for the 30 break to get back in, because it's starting to get choppy. It's already ran up a bunch. What time is it right now? Is that 2 o'clock?
Yeah, it's right at 13:48. So yeah, right at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, we haven't had a massive pullback at all our day. People are probably going to start taking profits, and that's why it's rough.
And there it goes. Yeah, there it goes. So that's, if you were using that 50 right there, that would be your official trend break. You'd be out right there, or at least taking profits half, like Garen was saying.
Yeah, there was multiple times you could have stacked into this trade. The triple bottom, the triple bounce, break of the 50, break of VWAP, then that last leg on the first flag. That you want to draw a downtrend line right there. Zoom into that first flag.
I see it on the 5 or the 1.
The 1 minute. Zoom into the 1 minute. So that last downtrend where it goes below the 50.
Right where the pointer's at, right?
Well, actually, I can just do it on my chart. Zoom back. Yeah, zoom into that flag. So that last downtrend where it goes below the 50, and it breaks up above the 50. That would be your next add. You would set your stop loss just below that 50, back into the low range. Basically, what happened, the way I've been trading it is, you you have two ranges inside that flag. Actually, you have the overall flag, and then you have that mid line between where it kind of bounces off the 50. You would set your limit right at the 50. Stop loss, 2 or 3 cents below that for an ad, and if it breaks, you get out of your ad for a break even, but your overall trade's still green because you entered way down at the bottom or at the VWAP or something. So you can stack into it with real tight stop losses just on those ranges, and then let it rip. And if that range fails, you get stopped out for a small loss instead of letting it go all the way back down.
Which would probably be, honestly, a little bit better strategy than the way I played it.
But you're also not used to holding all day. Do you usually would you hold something? I mean, you hate AMD as is. Would you hold this real time?
No, I would have just. My comment would have been, I don't want to sit here and have my capital tied up for this.
Yeah, it's a much faster when you get it on 3 times speed, but in real time, this is slow as shit.
Right, like we're like Garen just said. Gosh, I keep saying it again. Garen just said. I mean, we're 3 times speed right now, so slow this down times 3, and that's why I don't want to be here.
Yeah, and I honestly don't even watch these now. I will I'll set my when I get alerts in Trading View, I'll jump in there, analyze it, run my risk reward, set my limit order, set my stop loss just below it, and I'll go on to the next chart, and then I'll get filled or I won't. I'll miss the trade or I won't. I don't try to micromanage it. And by doing that, I don't chase the trade. I see what my risk reward is, and I have to get that entry to get a good risk reward and get a good, like, if I try to chase the trade, then my stop loss has moved up and I'm starting to lose more money if it comes back on me. So I have to wait for the pullback or set my entries well where I don't get them. So, if I miss this entire trade on AMD, on that first big run breaking the 50 and the VWAP, my first initial entry would be at the bottom light of that flag before it does that last touch.
Right.
And even if I miss that, then I could still get into it on the downtrend break on that 1 minute. I wouldn't see that downtrend break on the
5s.
Well, I could see it on the 5, yeah. So if you go over to the 5 minute, the first flag, that first green candle to break that downtrend and close. Outside of that, I would buy into that probably at 50% mark, somewhere around there for a long. No, actually, it'd be right inside, right above the mid-range line.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
And me personally, like I said, it's the sole reason that I just don't play AMD. AMD to me is more a buy it and swing it type stock.
It is. It really is.
It just this whole time, and we've wasted almost all day long until 2 o'clock, from 9:30 to 2 o'clock, and it's moved. We did buy at the triple bottom, which that was a good place to get in. So it's $29.57. So 30.57 is $1. I mean, this one moved.
I don't trade Forex.
I mean, it's $2, but I mean, I can show you a couple other stocks that we can get $2 out of it in 2 candles. And that's what I'm looking for personally. It just all depends on the way you trade. I mean, is this a win? Hell yeah, it's a win. Buy it in the morning and just hold it until the end of the day. Let's look.
Sorry, now this would be a short for me. This retest right here on the 50, short it right there, come back down.
See, I don't know that I would take it short personally. And the reason being is because A, I want downward momentum. And B, we're at all-time highs. If I'm going to short something at all-time highs, I'm going to short it up here.
Yeah, and that's something I can't do. You're really good at hitting those shorts like that.
Yeah, that's just me. I'm not going to short it here. To me, that's suicide.
Go ahead.
I'm going to try and pick the top. And if I'm wrong, let's say I come up and it tests and we get a double top, I'll go short, or I'll wait till we double top and we get that small red candle right there, and then I'll take it short if it breaks. But I won't short this anywhere in this area. I want it up here. And then basically, if I'm up at the top like that, if it starts to break out, I just get out. I know it's not ready yet. So I might lose, in this particular case, it's only moving a couple cents. So I might lose 3 or 4 cents, 5 cents, 8 cents. But it's a hell of a lot less than if I try and do it down here and it just starts to run. So just different ways of trading. Me personally, I'll look for the double top. Like right here, if I was going to try and short this, then I would have shorted it on this red candle right here.
I'm seeing a head and shoulders.
It's definitely starting to form. So to me, this looks like it wants to break out. It looks like it wants to keep running.
Yeah, I'd be getting worried right here. If it breaks 50, I'd be out. But under the 50 for me is a very strong move average, but I also don't trade the 1 minute. So 50 for me on like a 5 minute or a 3 minute would be much stronger.
So my chart's lagging a little bit, but I just hit fast forward. So literally we just fast forwarded like what, 20 some minutes, and we're literally trading in the same damn spot we were trading in 20 minutes ago. So,
so I'm looking at it on my 5 minute. Actually, I would not take this short. It looks different on my chart. I wouldn't have taken that short. Building an uptrend.
Yeah, it's definitely building an uptrend right now. But, here we go. Fast forward it again. Now
this is a bear flag for me. I would take it short at 31.30 break if it goes short.
Well, and there's your breakout. So I just fast forwarded another 40 minutes. So 40 minutes later, we're finally starting to break out. It's just, I don't know. To me, again, AMD is more of a swing. Now, how do you play AMD? Truthfully, the way Garen just said is probably the best way. You can do it through breakouts. The best entry was on the triple bottom or the break of the VWAP or above the 50, and just hold it.
Yeah, AMD is one of those stocks that you'll fucking pull your hair out and sell your house sitting in here trying to micromanage it on the 1 minute.
So,
yeah, there's no way I would sit here all day.
No, you can't do it. You'd be fucking exhausted by the end of it.
It just gets crazy, man. I mean, it's obviously it's a good move. It's a solid move, but in better retrospect, how about let's go to a bigger mover. I don't know. Y'all want to do like Nvidia or something?
I'd take that $800 and go buy a $200 massage afterwards.
Right? So let's go ahead and stop. We'll move to Nvidia and rewind and see what happens. Let's go to something that actually will move.
Real quick, go throw the 10-minute on and throw up the 15 EMA.
Hey, Scott,
I don't even have a 10-minute.
Do you use the 50 EMA and the 200 SMA?
Yeah, the simple is usually the better for the 200. I sometimes use both the 200 SMA and EMA, but that's only on the daily.
If you go to time frame tab, you can do a custom. The time frame tab up there.
Yeah, I'm lagging a little bit. I'm gonna close a couple of these windows real quick.
Yeah, my charts are definitely lagging behind the actual price that's printing.
Yeah, it happens with the on-demand.
It does it in paper too.
Yeah, it'll take some time to load. So like right now, it's just lagging out right now.
Pause it. Let's pause it, and you can do it a lot quicker.
There it goes. There it goes. So there's your 10-minute.
Throw on the 15 EMA. This isn't the exact EMA that I use.
What time frame?
Throw the 15 EMA on the 10-minute. Or you know what? I'll just what am I doing? I'll just show you my chart.
It's on there now.
Okay.
I mean, you can show yours. Go ahead, show yours. I'm watching the stream too.
All right, so I don't use exactly the 15, but all right, so that's essentially what I'm looking at. I've got the hourly over here, then the 10-minute over here. You know, on my EMAs, it never broke. And what I've learned from momentum trades like this, you can use the EMAs to indicate the strength of the trend. So the faster, it doesn't really matter what EMAs you use. It's more slower the EMA you use, the stronger it is as a support and resistance. The faster you use it, the faster EMA you use, the more it indicates strength of trend. So you can see my fastest EMA that I've got on here, it holds that EMA the entire bull run, which indicates to me that this is a super strong trend, which means it's also going to pull back hard. So when it does pull back and break trend, it's going to do it pretty hard. And it did that, but it didn't break my slowest EMA, the big white one. So to me, this trend is still intact, and you could still dip by this here. So when I was talking about going short on that 50 on the 1 minute, that was totally wrong because it didn't break my 10 minutes. So I would actually stack into this right in this area if I wanted to, with a stop loss just below. So I would stack into it at 31.44 and stop loss at like 38. So 4-cent loss or 6-cent loss. But the potential upside was, easily, that would have been a 6 times trade right there if I wanted to get heavy into it. And for trend lines, purely price action, not even using EMAs, you can just throw a trend line up here. When the candle starts to break this trend, go short, you could stop out completely here, not even using EMAs. You could hide all this and purely play this on a price action trend. So you don't even need the EMAs to trade it, but fundamentally it's one of those trades you just get into and you let it run all day until it breaks.
Hey, what do you mean by fast EMAs and slow EMAs? Like, are you talking about the length?
Yeah, have you ever heard the argument that EMAs lag and they can't be used because they're lagging indicators?
Right.
That's total bullshit, because you're using them as the slower you use an EMA, the stronger it's going to be. There's a reason that everybody uses the 200 SMA, because it's super slow and it's super strong. It's the one EMA or the one SMA that everybody looks at and shows you overall trend. So if I zoom out here on all my charts and you look at this 200 SMA, that dotted yellow line, this is my hourly chart. Never breaks that 200 and it runs the entire time. So if I wanted to swing trade AMD, I could purely just do it on the 200, and as soon as I get a 200 break, take it long right here. Take that long. It does break it here. So what I would look for in this day would have been, I would probably take this break here. I would cut out half. I would see what happened with the next day and then cut out the remainder. I'd probably take 75 here, loss, depending on what my average is, or I'd just stop out full, wait for the break again. I would re-enter it here this day. As long as it does not break that 200, which it never does the entire time, we have a bull run. Still in the bull run. So swing trade alone on the 200 break. So when people say that an EMA, the speed of the EMA or they can't be used because they're slow or they're fast or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It purely means the slower the EMA, the stronger it is for support and resistance. The faster it is, the more of an indication it can give you on the strength of the trend. You basically just use them to gauge what the trend's doing.
Got it, guys?
Does that make sense to anybody? Anybody have any questions?
What length are you using for your EMAs?
I can't tell you. It's Spartan strategy. He asked me to keep it confidential. The paid for strategy. But again, it doesn't really matter. You can just throw any of them on and just watch them, and you can make your own strategy with them. But the point is, the slower it is, the stronger it is. The faster it is, the more it will tell you trend strength.
So good ones to use, and obviously you can't share that, but good ones to use obviously is you're going to want to use like a 13 or a 20 or a 25.
Yeah,
a 200 SMA is also, like Garen was saying, that's extremely important.
You'll always see a 50 and a 200 on all of my charts, no matter what time frame it is. It's the most universal one. It's a 50 EMA and the 200 SMA. And then, yeah, like Skylar said, the teens or the 20s, those are really strong support and resistance EMAs. You can use any of them. Then below 12 or so, you start getting into like what I would consider fast EMAs.
And you just match it to your strategy. Go through. You guys, you got back testing software. Go in and set up a 20 EMA and play a couple days with it and see if that matches your strategy. If it doesn't, then go to a 13 and try that. And if that doesn't work, then move out to a 25. Just try a few different ones.
I've got a question. So the lower the SMA, the more accurate it is. Is that correct?
Not necessarily accurate. It just EMAs work by calculating the previous X amount of candles, high and low. So if you're using a 2 EMA, it's going to look 2 bars back. If you're using a 10 EMA, it's going to look 10 bars back. And the more it looks back, the slower the line is going to move, or the more weighted it is. So it takes the average of the past 10 bars or 20 bars or 50 bars, and it creates an average. And that line, that dot moves each time the next candle hops.
So the smaller the SMA or the EMA, the more reactive it is.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, the faster EMA you use, the more it's going to react to the price movement. Now, there's also all kinds of different EMAs. There's exponential EMAs, there's simple EMAs, there's whole mover average EMAs, there's VIDA EMAs, there's volume weighted EMAs. There's like a ton of different EMAs you can use. There's even volatility EMAs. You won't find them usually a lot in TOS, but I can show you some in TradingView.
Yeah, there's momentum EMAs. I mean, so if you go into your beaker and you push push the beaker and just type in moving averages, it'll probably come up with the EMAs and the SMAs, and you can just kind of scroll through them.
You can also weight your EMAs as well. If you didn't know this, on Swim, like double click on this 50, I can go to price and choose VWAP. And it doesn't change it by a whole lot, but it does weight it based on volume. So you can move the EMAs based on volume fluctuation.
You understand, guys?
It's a lot, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
So I mean, one thing you can do is just spend some time looking up some videos and watch videos about moving averages, or do some research about moving averages. Obviously, things you see in here on the internet, including us, obviously we try and be as truthful as possible, but take it with a grain of salt. If people are correct in their speaking, then it all should make sense. Like if somebody just sounds way out there, then obviously they're not right. But like we were saying, the most common ones are the 200 SMA, and then either a 13, a 25, or a 50. Somewhere in that range. That's going to be your most popular ones.
So this is TradingView. It's the current software I'm messing around with, and you can go in here and look at all of these You saw that all of those are EMAs. There's double exponential, fractal, volume weighted, smooth move average, weighted move average, whole move average, exponential move average, Kaufman adaptive, simple, and then the VIDA, which is variable dynamic index average. So there's a ton of different EMAs you can mess around with. They all kind of just give you trend strength. Or I wouldn't get too caught up on trying out 1,000 different ones. Usually simpler is better.
The less is better. That is true. They get really, really busy. And normally when I'm trading, I just have a VWAP and a 200. Recently, I've started kind of looking into the 50 EMA or the 25 or the 13, but it's not typically anything you'll find on my chart. Normally, you'll just find a 200 SMA and a VWAP. That's it. And then I just use price action flags.
I don't particularly like move averages on the 1 minute. It's too much chop. If you build a 5 minute strategy or a 10-minute strategy, you can just put it on a 1 minute as well. So if you like using the 15 on the 10-minute, if you want to use it on the 5 minute, you just double it. So use a 30 EMA, which would be 15 on the 10-minute, and if you wanted to use on the 1 minute, you would times 10, I guess. 150 EMA on the 1 minute would be the 15 on the 10, right? Is that right?
Yes. Yep. So I know y'all are confused as hell, but just do a little bit of reading, a little bit of studying, and if you have questions, you can post them in the room. We'll try and answer them, or just obviously we're always in chat. Just ask.
Yeah, I'm here to learn together. This community was built to educate people and get better at trading. Obviously, I'm not a profitable trader, so I'm still in that boat.
You're getting there, and you're not quitting, and you're trying. So it's nobody's profitable from day one. They say 90% of traders lose. My opinion, it's not so much 90% of traders lose. 90% of traders give up.
Exactly.
So there's a big difference between a loser and somebody who just gives up. And
you don't lose until you give up.
That's right.
So I'm going to chime in here because I am a new trader and I have been profitable. But what I've actually learned the last like 2 or 3 days since I've been hanging out with you guys, I don't know what the fuck I was doing, to be honest.
Getting lucky.
Yeah. What were you trading?
Yeah, it was all luck. Here.
They say, you hear so many stories of guys that say, I've never traded before in my life. The first stock I bought was JCPenney. I made $1,000, and it's like, you did what? Oh yeah, I dumped $20,000 in JCPenney and I made $500. And it's like, you did what?
Yeah. So I started out like when I first started, I started out with Tilray. I bought it at $100 a share, sold it at 105.
That's an exception to the rule.
Yeah. Good to play the hype stocks, actually, if you get on the right time.
And this is real money. This isn't even a paper account.
Sure.
So
what was? Here's the important questions. What was your exposure? If it went wrong on you, how much would you have lost for what you gained?
I probably would have lost, $30, $40, $50.
That's Tilray, dude. How many
I
shares?
only bought 8 shares. 8.
Okay, when one candle moves $5, how would you only lose $40?
I mean, I was watching it pretty closely.
Yeah, but the spreads were $1 alone, $2, $3 at times.
Were you limit ordering or market ordering?
Market ordering.
Yeah,
I was using Robinhood. So in my defense, I know what you guys are going to say. Robinhood is delayed, right? So anything could have happened. I was using TOS for my analytics.
Yeah, you got lucky. You got real lucky.
Yeah. You bought the right stock at the right time, dude. That's all there is to it. You bought the stock that everybody and their mother was buying, and when it was $100, it ran up to 150 the same day. I mean, that's the exception to the rule. So kind of like what I was telling you, that story, I bought $20,000 with JCPenney. Well, you just happened to get in the right stock at the right time.
Yeah. Good start, though.
It's a very good start. Very good start.
So what was your next trade?
Okay, so after Tilray, I jumped in NEPT at about 40 shares at $4.35, which I'm still currently holding. I have not. I'm going for the long term on that one.
And you're up right now, right?
Yeah.
What's your entry?
I jumped in September 24th at 10:25 a.m. The share should have been at 4.35.
You're holding red.
Were you going short?
I'm red right now. No, I was going long.
Okay. Do you know how to look at the technical analysis on that? What's your exit strategy?
I'm thinking. So I'm thinking right around 4.35 is probably when I'm just going to get out because it hasn't even gotten
no your exit strategy on losing.
I apologize. I probably hang on, I got to pull up the chart again.
I'm gonna have to reset my Thinkorswim real quick. So if you're sharing my screen, it's gonna go blank.
I'm on mine right now.
Now it's at $4.
Actually, you know what? It worked.
It looks like it can go down to like 363 easy.
What was your entry on NEPT?
I want to hear what his analysis is first before I make comments.
Okay, so my exit strategy at this point is going to be 350. That's probably where my exit strategy would be.
How many shares you got?
Total of actually not very many. 58.
58. Are you using the cheat sheet calculator?
No, I'm not.
Okay, 58 shares. That's what's your account size?
Total. Oh, you want my total portfolio?
Yeah.
Total portfolio at this point is 1,081 on Robinhood.
Okay. What are you trying to risk per trade?
I'm thinking
dollar amount or percentage, either one.
Well, just so I don't lock up all my money in one area, I'm thinking like 20%.
Per trade?
Yeah.
That's what?
Well, maybe that's a little high.
You're looking for 20% gains per trade, or you're exposing yourself 20%?
Exposing myself 20%.
I think you're calculating exposure wrong. If your share size is small for that, hold on. What was your entry?
Sorry, pulling up history. Hang on.
That's September 24th, right?
September 24th, 10:25 a.m.
Okay, what was
shares at $4.35.
So right now you're at a 36-cent loss.
Yep.
Total loss down to $3.82 would be a 50-cent about a 60-cent loss. Below the 50 on the daily puts you at 75 cents loss times 53 shares. Hold on. You're about a $43, so you're not exposed much at all. I'll show you how you can calculate your risk on your next trade with the cheat sheet. You can download this in the Discord, and this way you'll know exactly what you're risking per trade. So if you're, let's say you want to risk $40 on each trade. That's about 5%. Yeah, so you're risking about 4.5% of your portfolio, which is not bad for a small account. I wouldn't say you're overexposed, you just didn't really get a good entry, and the technicals don't look really good on it. So the way you can, I'm trying to do this with.
And as far as your 350 exit goes, I don't know that. I mean, so at 350, if it does happen to come down to 350, that's really your support mark. I would say wait for it to actually, I mean, I know it's going to cost you a couple extra cents if it gets there. I'm not saying it's going to get there. You may be in a perfectly fine trade, but if it gets there, you might want to wait till it actually cracks 350, not touches 350, because you've got support at 350.
Yeah, and that was the whole idea of the exit strategy, was once it hits that support, I was done.
Well, let it break support. Don't let it just touch support. You need to just let it break support.
Yeah, now let's explain what breaking is, because this isn't a low float of it. Well, it is a low. It's probably not moving a lot, but for me, a break on this, an exit break, would be a 30-minute candle, or like a long candle closing below 350. It might come down to 340, bounce, come back. So my exit would be a 30-minute candle closing below 350, or getting into 330s. So for me, what would your break signal be, Skylar?
So I'd be watching momentum, and if it's got strong, so I got two rules. Number one, never get out on a spike. So let's just say it spiked down real hard. I never get out on a spike. Now, if the next candle opens and I'm using a smaller time frame again, I'm not using a 30 or a 20, and that's different. So if you're using a 1 minute or a 3 minute, never get out on a spike. And if it closes below that point, obviously you're done. But let it, if it just spikes and then
Maple.
We
were doing backtesting today. We're kind of done now. But if you want to rewatch it, we commentate AMD trade on 8/12.
I wouldn't get out if it just touches it.
Yeah, you got to be a little patient. You got to let it play out. Now, I'll give you one more option that you can do, and this is what I personally would do, because for me, this is you are on a breakout on the daily short. You built a triangle, and it has broke that triangle and going short. And for me, it's coming down to 370. I see it coming down short. So here's my technical analysis on it. I'm gonna draw.
First off, what's the news? Before you can really say that, I think that we should say what's the news on it.
That is true. Is there any news on this? Let's check StockBot.
Neptune's a U.S. cannabis company, I believe. They're a grower.
It is, yeah. It's directly related. I mean, if Tilray is going up, this one's going up too.
Okay, so this is a weighted one now. So what you need to pay attention to is Tilray, which is the big mover of the weed stocks right now, and it's going to be weighted with Tilray. So whatever Tilray does, it's probably going to pull this one the same way. Fundamentally, if we zoom out and look at the daily, this thing's been running since last year.
It's touching the tops of its last run. If you look at most of the pod stocks, they all kind of follow this exact same chart. Like the ETF, of course, but Neptune follows it. RVLT. What else is out there? Aurora. They all kind of look the same, the charts.
Yeah. So Tilray is a little quicker because it's an IPO. What's a longer term stock?
Just go ahead and look at MJ. You can see how much it weighted with MJ it is, which is an marijuana ETF.
Okay, well, yeah, MJ is the ETF though, so that's taking an average of all.
That can be useful, but MJ is looking. If MJ breaks 38, I'd be more bearish on it. But right now, I'm still bullish on MJ. What's a weed stock that's been around for 2 years?
IGC and Bev.
Okay, yeah. So everything's pretty much moving on momentum. What was the one we were looking at? NPT.
Yeah, Nept. There's also AC.
NEPT. Like today was a gap fill too on NEPT. I can't tell with the chart, but it looks like it was a gap fill.
Yeah, so
it was last night. We were talking about it, filling the gap. That was one thing that Skylar was talking to me about.
And I didn't look. Did it fill the gap?
It did fill the gap, and it looks like it bounced.
Which ticker?
NEPT.
Okay, the one I'm looking at. So it filled the gap. Yeah, it was a small gap, and then it pulled down and fell. So for me, I've got 2 dailies on the bottom. My analysis would be, we've got ranges here, right about there. The stock's going to bounce in between these ranges on the daily. You had this downtrend going on daily. For me, the long would not be until it broke that downtrend. I would not have bought into this. You bought into it mid-range, so it's kind of just chopping between here. You know, how Skylar said on the 1 minute, he doesn't like to buy into the chop or into the consolidation like there and sit and wait. Well, for me on a daily, it's the same thing. I'm gonna wait for a daily breakout either way. So for me, I wouldn't have taken this trade until it broke this trend line or it broke this trend horizontal line, and it did break this today, and I would have taken it short. I just wasn't watching, and it didn't look like a stock that was moving too much. So now what's happened is we zoom into the hourly. You've broke this range, and on top of that, my 50 EMA, my 200, we are below the 200, we're below the 50, we're below my fast EMA. This is all short for me. I see it coming down to 370 and bouncing. It might rip down and touch your stop loss. You might get lucky, and it might bounce and come back into the triangle. Really, the indication for that is the volume. Tomorrow, if it comes down, you're either going to see a lot of volume buying up right here at 370 for a good dip buy, and it's going to go back long, or you're going to see no volume and it's going to get real weak and it's just going to fall through either this day or the next day or the day after that. But right now, it is still in a downtrend overall technical. So here's your options. You have some choices you can make on this. It depends on how you want to play it. You can hold it and it could break and go long and come back and you make profit, or you could sit through this and watch you lose money, which you're only risking $40, so it's not that big of a deal. What you could do is play tomorrow and look for it to come back into range. If it comes back up into, if it bounces on the $4 mark, which it did, this is a good indication here. Price action wise, this little tiny dip right here, dip and run. This is probably shorts taking their profits because they don't have a lot of conviction coming down, and it's back up to $4. If it opens or it gaps up or it stays above $4, you're going to be looking a lot better. If it breaks below $4, you're looking more short bearish. So depending on where it plays on the whole dollar, you can kind of get an indication. If you feel it's strong and it's above the $4, just let it see what happens. If you feel it's weak, you can do 2 things. You can hold for the chug, or you can sell out and wait for the bounce and wait for confirmation and get back into it long at a lower price and make profits. So you have a few choices that you can do. You can cut your loss now, wait for it to bottom out and get a good technical, and then play the technical long or short. Well, I guess you can't play it short because you don't have a short account on Robinhood. But there's just a couple different ways you can play it. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions on it?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like I said, I think with it being such a minimal risk of only $40, I'm gonna play it out. I'm gonna see how it goes. Hopefully it bounces.
Okay, now keep in mind too that the habits you form now are going to get more and more ingrained into it since you're a new trader. So I wouldn't make it a habit of doing this style of trading because you're eventually, there's no. You can let this play out because it's not a big deal because you're brand new. But from a building good habits as a trader, I would take your loss when you're wrong and on the break. So like if Skylar, pretend this is the 1 minute and Skylar was trading this, would you say that you would cut your loss here on the break of this resistance, Skylar, if this was like a 1 minute range?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you always just take your loss and move on, but it's not a big deal since you're new and first. How long have you been trading?
A week.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, you're not in too heavy to where it's going to blow your account up or anything crazy. And like we talked about last night, given the circumstances and the news around it, you do have a possibility that it runs, but like I told you before, if you start getting up near them 475 highs, start scaling out, let some of that go.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not doing any day trading because again, I'm using Robinhood. I don't even have real money on my TOS. Eventually I will, but with having a job and everything, it just doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
So,
I wouldn't day trade on TOS either. Commissions are too high for a starter.
So what would you recommend then? And if are you not using Robinhood, are you?
No, I used Tradenet. Right now I'm just paper trading, but it's kind of hard to. You need a decent size account to day trade. $1,000 just being a weekend, it's too rough. But swing trading is perfectly fine for you. If you're wanting to swing trade, you can do, I would say, chart off of the 30-minute or the hourly and the daily for swing trades. What time frames are you looking at on your TOS?
I'm using the 5-minute and the 10, which isn't good, obviously, for swing trading. But I'm trying to learn day trading right now. So usually I just look at the charts on Robinhood before I make a.
Well, you can learn the price action trading on a swing. You can trade on the 30-minute and the hourly and the daily and learn price action trading. And if you want to use EMA trading, there's no the skills will be transferable when you come into day trading. So if you learn price action and you trade on a price action basis, technically, you can still trade that when you come into the smaller time frames. It's the exact same. The principles are the same.
Okay.
So for me, if I was going to swing this, since it is marijuana and I am bullish, long term, if you're wanting to hold this for a while, what's your swing trade time looking like? How long are you wanting to hold things?
The original plan was 3 to 5 days, but it's like the longer I'm looking at this, it's like this is probably going to be like 2 or 3 week trade for me to really make anything on it.
Yeah, this is a bit slower. For me, I would just wait for it to bottom out and then break this downtrend, swing it up and get out and then go on to the next trade.
All right.
Just trade it on a technical basis.
So just kind of cut my losses.
Yeah, and the other option is, from what I'm learning about options, is options can be very profitable for a small account because, well, I don't think you could trade this with an option because it's probably low volume, but you can trade other things the same way, price action based, and you can buy an option for $40, and that's not tying up all your equity into a equity side. So, you said you bought 50-something shares for $4?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got about $225 in there, somewhere around there, 250.
According to this, it says, hang on, 233.
233. Okay, so let me calculate the upside potential on this. Let's say we did play this on the technical basis and it came down to the bottom of this trend. And let's say we bought in on the bounce at the bottom, or you waited for trend break. Let's say you risk the same amount, which is about 58 shares. If it ran back up to the top end of this range, that's 80 cents. 80 cents times 50. You'd be looking at, I can't math right now. You'd be looking at 30, $40, something like that.
So not one to one.
Yeah, it's not 1-to-1, but I mean, with a small account, you're trading more percentage based than that. So that would still be, what's 1,000 divided by 50? Is that 0.5?
I can tell you. Hang on.
Sorry, 50 divided by 1,000.
1 second. 50 divided by 1,000 equals, so that's 0.05.
Yeah, 0.5%. So let me pull up Robinhood real quick and see if there's options on this. because it is weed, so there might be some options because it's popular right now.
And you remember, so if you wanted to buy this, how long ago did you buy it? If you don't mind, when did you buy it?
24th.
The 24th. So
2 days. Oh no, hang on. Let's see. Yeah, the 24th.
Okay. So that gap that we talked about last night, that's on the chart, and I've got mine up. I don't just saying that gap actually was formed on the weekend. It was 824 to 827. And remember yesterday when we were talking, I told you that the gap would, oh my goodness, that the gap was more than likely going to get filled. You remember us talking about that?
Yep.
So the right way to do it would have been to wait for that. That gap was already there when you bought, right? So you would have been able to go to, and I know you didn't know this at the time, but that gap was there when you bought. The right way to play it, if you really wanted to buy it long, would have been wait till you get that gap fill and then buy it, buy it long off the bounce from the gap fill. Because you see today what happened is it came and it completely filled that gap and then it took off. And last night I told you that chances are that you're going to fill that gap and then you're going to, if it's going to go back up, you'll go back up from there. But that gap, it's going to fill.
You talking about the short gap?
The short gap, yes.
Yeah, so it held that downtrend from, yeah.
So excuse me 1 second, guys.
Yeah, I mean it was a cheap lesson to learn for sure.
Yeah, so
it wasn't a horrible lesson, but
no.
Just watch your chart for your gaps, because you could have got in the gap fill. It could have come down, filled the gap, and you could have bought it off the bounce and been in at $3.68 roughly, and had a much better position, and you'd be up 30 some cents right now.
If anybody has Robinhood, you can pull this up real quick and look at this. Now I'm still learning options and still kind of messing around with them, but we're trying to figure them out. It looks like NEPT has call options for monthlies on October 19th. Right now, the $4 call price is $55 or $55. It's 50 cents. So if I was to trade this with a small account and I wanted to do options, I would see what happens today, and it could come down, and it'll probably, if it does come down, it's going to come down to $3.75, and it's going to make that options even cheaper. It'll probably be 40 or 30 cents, which will be 30 or 40 bucks. And what that basically means is you're setting a max risk if you buy that option. And a call is going long, so just ignore the puts side and ignore the sell side. All I'm looking at is buy call. Are you looking at the options right now, Snap?
I'm looking, but I don't see where it has that. Is it?
Go to trade, and then trade options. I'll look at my webcam real quick. It should look like this.
There's a delay.
Should look like that. It looks like that. You should have like at the top October 19th, November 16th, February 19th.
I'm waiting for the webcam to catch up. Here we go. Okay.
So the way this works is ignore the sells, ignore the puts. The top bar, the date, that's basically when the stock or the option expires. This is a month expiration, so you still have like 3 weeks for this thing to go. If you scroll down and look at the buy call of $4, you see that says 55 cents.
Yep.
That means that will call, each option contract is 100 shares. You're saying you'll buy or sell 100 shares, so you times that that cent amount to 100, which makes it $55. So right now, if you bought that option at $55, well, hold on, I'll explain the rest in a minute. But with the expiration date, these things decay. So every day that it gets closer to October 19th, these options get cheaper. What that means is if you're looking at a chart and you have to wager, is it a technical breakout and is it moving my way, or should I wait to buy the contract? So in this case, NEPT is going downtrend. It's still on a downtrend, and I personally see it hitting 370. So for me, I would wait to see what happens, because as this stock comes down, that option is going to get cheaper, and as the time goes on, it's going to get cheaper. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so for me, I would wait for it to touch 370 and then break this downtrend. And I would also want it to get above like one of my hourly EMAs. There's some more criteria, but we can check it out on stream tomorrow. I can walk you through it. I might actually take this option contract just to test it, because I'm messing around with options. But what happens is, let's say it touches 370 and the option contract is like 30 bucks. I'll buy it for 30 bucks, and if the stock expires if we go all the way till October 19th and it never gets above $4, you lose 30 bucks. That's it. And you're only tying up $30 worth of equity as well. So that's the nice thing about options. You don't have 250 bucks tied into a trade. You have 30 bucks tied into a trade. The downside is you have to wait for the expiration, or you sell you sell the contract afterwards. So what would happen is,
so my question is would that be even beneficial? Like, why would you want to take an option when there's probably better swing trades out there?
Because one, you can, for me, it would be technical based. I would still trade this as if I was trading equity. I would still chart it out the same way. But what you want to wait for is confirmation that it is going to go back up to $4. So confirmation here, if we look at the hourly, if it comes down to 370 and it bounces and it just kind of chops right here on this downtrend, it breaks this downtrend, and then it gets above one of my fast EMA on my daily or on my hourly, and then I would probably think about taking it long, and I would buy the option contract. Now, as it rides up, like if you buy it at 370 and it starts moving up, and let's say it touches $4 by the end of the day, it comes back up and fills. Let's say the option comes back up to like $55. You could sell the contract right then for a $20 profit, which is less than 1-to-1. But what happens is if you scroll, let's see, you see the $3 contract and how it's $118, and the $2 contract's $198. It's $200.
Yep.
Essentially, if this stock breaks $4, every dollar it moves, it's going to grow 1 times profit. I believe that's right. I'm not entirely sure because I'm not great with options yet. But for once your strike price is crossed, it should be for every dollar that the stock moves, you're gaining 1 times the price. So
gotcha. So if it went up to 6, you would multiply by 2.
I think so. It grows exponentially. So you can trade it technically and graph it out, and then buy it at a cheap price, and you expect it to come up and break the $4 mark, and then let it go past that. And as it runs past that, and you also have till October 19th. So this thing, wheat stocks are very bullish. If you look at the daily, we are on a pullback to the 50 right now, which is a little weak, but it hasn't broke the 50. As long as it doesn't break the 50, I'm pretty bullish on the wheat stocks. I think it might come back into the range, but we'll just have to see. And I'll probably trade this tomorrow. I'll throw it on my watch list.
Cool.
But that's a quick rundown on options, and you can, if you want to, you can start messing with them and trying to figure them out. And Spartan and them, they teach it and they talk about it in their streams, and I'm trying to figure it out. So if you watch the stream, then you'll be able to figure it out too.
Okay. Well, thanks for looking at it.
Yep. NEPT. So I'm gonna throw this on my watch.
So y'all want to do NVIDIA at the open and then call it?
Yeah, I'm gonna get off here and take a shower and go to bed. I'm gonna shut down the stream. But if anybody is watching on stream and you want to join them for any more post-market analysis or doing back testing, you can jump into the Discord and into the live trading voice.
I say we'll do NVIDIA real quick, and then anybody else has any questions, we'll answer those quick, and then we'll just call it. So NVIDIA probably take another 10 minutes or so.
All right, guys, I'm gonna get off here. I will see you tomorrow for the live stream. Spartan pre-market notes will be at 8:45 in the morning. I might share him for 10 to 30 minutes on the open, and then yeah, I'm out of here.
All right, so
other than that, I will see you guys. We might be doing another community backtesting.
Speak up.
On
Sunday.
There's a link in the description for Discord. And
because somebody wanted to do some fangs, and we really messed around with something that probably was not a waste of time, but kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, I'm still here too.
All right. Well then, are you on my stream or are you watching through Garen's stream?
I'm on Garen's stream.
Hey.
Yeah, I posted it in the live trading pit.
I'll throw it up on my stream for those that want to watch on the stream.
I think I still have it up in a tab here.
There's a Skylar stream if you guys want to watch it.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, and I forgot to tell you, left, didn't he?
I don't think he left. I forget who it was. It was
I was gonna tell him that the cheat sheet's in the Garen's trading.
Yeah, he might have left.
Anybody remember his name?
Hang on. I'm just looking through here.
Wow, we have 1,200 members now. We've gained a lot this past week. 200. 3 days.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to look through the names now. I think it was maybe Lanoon. No, that's not right.
Hopefully they'll jump in tomorrow.
I'm sure they will. I can't remember his name right this second, but he did this with us last night too, and the night before. He's been very active the last couple days. Damn, I can't remember his name. I'll find it. What do you want me to link him to your chart or to your cheat sheet?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, just throw it in the pit and link the channel.
Yeah, I'd love to see that and use it.
It's I'll just do an @ everyone. It's version 2.2 position sizing cheat sheet download. XL SX. You can throw it into Excel or.
Oh no, brown cow.
All right, I'm off here, guys.
All right.
Where the link? I don't see the links even there.
The link to my.
There it is. I see it now. It's up top.
Is this the guy who made a video about level 2s with TD Ameritrade? I'm not sure which video you're talking about, John. He is very good at level 2s, though.
We'll do NVIDIA.
Skylar,
September 12th.
very good price action, 1 minute level 2 trader.